I was on here earlier today, man. I've been off and on here earlier, and a lot of people have a lot of things to say, you know, um,
Hmm.
and a lot of people are, people are upset, of course, but they're really disrespectful, and that's something I wanted to say. But once we get the crowd in, is to tell everybody to don't be so rude. You know what I mean? Let's try to make this respectful and mature because there's a yeah, man. A lot of people call each other stupid and dumb fucks and just everything because people just think differently. And I'm like, wow, man, I didn't think it would get this crazy on here.
I mean, you gotta think though, right? You're dealing with an issue that involves a lot of people being upset. That's
Yeah.
one. And then for two, there's not a lot of unity in terms of how to solve this problem. And I don't think there should be, right? It's a very complex issue.
Hmm.
And when you start talking about, mobilizing people, you start talking about getting people together. Unfortunately, you kind of need like that central that person that can unite everybody. And right now, I don't know if we have that person available.
No,
You
definitely
know,
don't.
so if you're gonna follow Biden, a lot of people in the black community hated his speech last night, couldn't stand it. You know, and then you have so many black leaders, and we all have an opinion, right, on how to solve it.
Hmm.
But we truly don't know because we're at a pivotal point in our country where, in my opinion, where we need to either face the music, or we need to go ahead and continue proceeding on exactly what we're doing. And at work, actually, I'm part of this group called Men to Men, right?
Okay.
And I thought we were just having like a leadership meeting because it's like an ERG, and I'm like a co-leader or whatever. So I
Hmm.
thought we were just talking about like giving out some merch and like events and stuff because Men's Health Month is coming up. And nah, man, like I got on the call because I was like 10 minutes late. I got on the call and everybody was in there just real quiet, and like people was just like super duper upset um because there's been three mass shootings, in the past 2 weeks,
Right.
and a lot of the people that everyone that got attacked were all minorities. Yeah, the Asian community. Yesterday that was a mostly Latino community, right?
Right. Yep.
From what we understood. And the shooter, we believe, was Latino by his name. I ain't seen a picture of the boy, but from his name, I think he's Latino. And
Hmm.
then, you had African American, predominantly African Americans that got shot in tops, the Buffalo. So, yeah, man, I understand the frustration, I understand the anger, but one of the main things I think is unity is the best way to go ahead and combat this. Singular focus,
Uh,
hive mind type of mentality. And that is something that is very hard to accomplish. Very hard.
and I just got to disagree. We was talking about that on Saturday. And I mean that just sounds great on paper, but who do we talk to about coming together like this? Because all this coming together, all this kumbaya shit that everyone keeps talking about is just not going to happen. Because the people who are going to sit down and kumbaya and talk with us about it are the people who already agree with us. So we're just pretty much talking to ourselves. I kind of say in like how we how like black people may make like for example, we may make a black movie,
Hmm.
like about slavery or about the atrocities that we may, we
Like
come
Roots,
in contact
essentially.
with yeah, like we
Yeah.
come in contact with the police and, we try to let people know like these are things that happen. But the people who go and see that movie are us, the people who already
Hmm.
know and the people who already agree with us. So it's not like we're fixing anything, because we're just talking to each other. We're just opening up the gates and letting us already know what we already know. You know what I mean? So that
Okay.
doesn't help anything, I think, because the people we really need to talk to are fully against us. There's no talking with them. You know what I mean? So just like you were saying on Saturday, I'm not saying that it needs to be all war and bloodshed. Of course not. But what else is there to do? You want to sit down and have a summit with like these racist white people, and that's just not going to happen because they know that we're going to talk about gun reform or taking away guns or making it harder to get guns, and they don't want to talk about that, so they're not going to waste their time in life, trying to come to a resolution because that's not a resolution to them. So I don't think that's going to work at all. So I don't know what the other option is, but it's just not going to work. Nothing is going to work, and it's just going to continue to happen. And I don't want to
Um,
sound negative. I don't want to sound negative, but it is what it is, man.
so look, when I say unity, I mean us as African American folks, right? So if you can think about a time when we've had like almost absolute unity, you can think about like Black Wall Street, right? Where we policed and owned our own community, where we had our own stores and things of that nature. And then, white people came and bombed us and
Sure.
all of that shit happened, right? That right there is an example of being unified. And I feel like when we have more of a unified message and not bickering and cussing each other out, calling us bitch ass nigga, you goofy, you don't know what's going on, and then like putting in like anti-Semitic stuff is weird, and like, oh, we need to just focus on black folks and not minorities is weird. It's like we all have a common enemy, but like we don't really want to be united against it. And I feel like it's because the message always gets appropriated, right? People want to make
Hmm.
money out of the situation. Everyone wants to be the leader. Everyone wants to be the top dog. And going back to the solutions, I wrote down a few things. If you don't mind, if I get like a minute or two, which I
No, but
think are. Oh, go
just
ahead.
before you do that, be prepared to repeat it a couple more times when more people get on
That's
here.
fine. I
Okay.
mean, if more people come, what I mean, I'm putting this on the. We're going to take this, download it, and put it on the podcast and release it this Friday anyway.
Cool. Okay.
um, and put it on YouTube. So it could be on stereo, it could be on YouTube, it can be on the podcast, it can be on Instagram, it can be whatever y'all want to do. Because I feel like this is a good conversation to have, and this might be something that we need to do a lot. But anyway, my ideas was like, let's just start to understand that we can't fix hate, right?
Right.
So trying to focus on fixing this neo-Nazi thought process against us, there's no point, you know. So on an individual level, maybe, right? But like,
Hmm.
imagine if you grow up 20, 30 years of pure hatred. I hate niggers and I hate Jews and I hate Spicks. How am I going to change it? That's not. So there's no reason to even try to deal with that. So I think that one of the first things we can do is like um, having direct conversations like on this platform. So stop like watching media. I've heard a lot of people today that said that they haven't watched like the news in months. And then they just watched it because of the school shootings yesterday.
Hmm.
Rest in peace to everyone that passed, by the way. Really, really, sorry for all of that violence and shit in the world. But a lot of people I know, black men, that was like, yeah, I'm not, I don't watch the news, but I watched it because that was a large event and it was a large mass shooting, and they watched it because of tops. Like, yo, having direct conversations so we can talk it out is a beautiful way to start to spread the message. So I think like this platform and like all of the other stuff we do, Wayne, like just having
Hmm.
our podcast, just talking, my G, is like a great step. But time for action as well. So I think another idea I have is like government funding for mental health professionals available to all Americans free of charge or at a reduced rate. The reason why I say that is because we have dealt, me, you, and all minorities have dealt with systematic oppression for hundreds of years. So I think we need to also gain mental health benefits, right? And
Hmm.
maybe that can help people that are having these isolated feelings, whatever the hell feelings these people are having, that's going out there wanting you to go to 4chan and Discord and try to commit these atrocities. Having subsidized or free mental health and having the government, provide that would be a blessing, and it will help those professionals get more money so they can continue to do their job. I think that is such a beneficial thing because we do it in
Okay.
schools already. We do it in schools. So I went to my first therapist while I was in school because I was thinking about killing myself when I was like in like 8th grade or 9th grade or whatever. And
Hmm.
I talked to a mental health therapist in school, and that's how I started to learn those foundational steps. So that was great. Also, create a government group to monitor activities of websites for certain activities such as body armor and neo-Nazis and other trigger words that could possibly lead you to be like, oh, this motherfucker might commit a crime, Because did you know, Wayne, that you can buy like body armor and like 1,000 bullets and like that shit doesn't get reported to no government agency?
Yeah. Yeah. I was sharing a lot about that earlier today. Yeah, there's a lot of different stores you can go into and get just like military grade body armor. Like not like Walmart or
Like,
anything. You can go to a gun store and
no,
things like
but
that.
it's not that easy. It's not that hard to find. I mean, you can
Right.
find it, Wayne. You can find it. So, I'm in Texas, you in Georgia, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We can find me and you can get all the way strapped up like old boy was yesterday, or at
Hmm.
the tops. We can get strapped up as long as we got the money. We could do it in 2-3 hours,
Right.
easy peasy, no problem. So I feel like if we had like government program or like some type of tracking, or even just us, like just like an organization, because they do it with pedophiles to actually track those conversations, you could
Hmm.
possibly report that and stop these mad things from happening. Also, man, we have to start utilizing the technology that our killers are utilizing. We got to. If you see somebody on Instagram posting up guns, man, like constantly and just looking mad crazy like the dude was that killed them kids yesterday, somebody needs to report that. Like you can't just not say nothing. Like we gotta stop doing this shit. And like if you like I went on 4chan today, Wayne, and I
Hmm.
know I'm talking, but I'm telling y'all, I'm just some shit in my mind. I went on
Right.
4chan today, bro, and somebody on 4chan posted up on politically incorrect. That's what it's called. It says, "What did you do to stop it? Where did your guns help?" And they posted up a picture of this white girl that had died, one of the little 8-year-olds that got killed.
Hmm.
This is what people said in 4chan thread. Not my problem. Now show the
That's
18 other
disgusting.
wetbacks. Look, now it gets worse. Show the other 18 wetbacks offsprings that are now removed from this world. You win some and you lose some. Um,
And see, that's what I
it
mean,
stop.
man. That's what I mean. It's like talking. With,
It goes worse.
okay. Okay.
It gets worse, Wayne. Um, it said, "Why are non-whites also so violent?" And it's like they said it like 18 times, and they showed a graph where like the most violent killings with handguns was done by African Americans. They
Hmm.
said. Regulators say they're not allowed in schools. The law-abiding citizens rightfully let them at home. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He said, then somebody else said, I was balls deep in your mom. Then it's
No,
a
just
whole
you
bunch
can
of shit like,
skip all that. Yeah, you can skip all that.
yeah, yeah, sorry about that. But then saw some other things like these niggers should have killed a whole bunch of niggers with them. Um, looks like a pedophile school. Not a good idea to go into an elementary school. Somebody said, "What did the COVID vaccine do?" And somebody else said, "Shut the fuck up, nigga. You mad that anchor babies are dead and some spics will be deported soon." So it was and that was just one thread. It's tons and tons of hateful
Hmm.
messages. So
And
that's
then
the
if
reason
you
why I
read that
said,
over and over again, like it's
right.
like you're on there, but you're not,
hmm I'm
motivated to
not an
do anything. That doesn't
extremist,
move
right?
you, But for
Exactly.
the
It
other
doesn't
people,
move
they
me.
know where to go to, and it just jumps
Yeah.
into your head. It
Yep.
seeps into your head, into your mind,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
that's what causes the guy that did what he did yesterday, and the guy
And
who
oh
shut up the
boy.
Tops grocery store. Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy too. He was also on extremist websites. So my whole point is that I believe that it's time for us to start. Also, I'm sorry, I want to talk about universal self checks for weapons and ammos for all gun sales, not just private, but for
Right.
also like gun store sales, and to have mental health checks provided by a professional before buying a semi-automatic rifle or a high amount of ammo, because
I
you
personally
should
believe it should
have.
be any gun, man.
I understand that. I don't
Yeah.
see. I understand why people will be like, "Oh my God, no, you're taking away my rights and things of that nature." Okay, but you have to remember though that we have a serious problem in this country where we have mass shootings. Um, every year, it's been happening since 2000, and it's increased
Right.
in 2020. It's increased the past 3 years. It's increased exponentially. So I just thought that those things were like good places to start. And I feel like that's something that we can do in our local communities to actually talk to like our local senators and our local, aldermans and all these motherfuckers that's in our local community and start pressing this as a black community. Start getting on Twitter. Start talking to your local officials. Start going to like your politicians that's in your community and start having those conversations and be like, hey, these are some things that we can do and we can force into law to make it harder. You can't stop hate. You can't stop oppression from one person trying to kill a whole bunch of people. But what you can do is hopefully try to have a plan so we can put some things in place within the government to help solve.
Mhm.
So instead of having a whole bunch of hate, feelings, I'm upset as well, but I'm just trying to look for any solution that could possibly help our people. And I get off my soapbox and stop hauling up all the time, Wayne. But yeah,
No,
that
it's
was just some
okay.
shit I came up with.
And that's good. That's good. We appreciate that. But what you were saying is more so about gun reform,
Well, one thing,
and that's a
everything else is mental health.
right. And but I
Only one
really,
thing.
what really I wanted to touch on too is how tough it is for us to kind of walk the streets as black men, and
Hmm.
how now we have to do so much to continue to be able to walk the streets. And I mean, like,
Hmm.
yes, we do have to, start looking at the 4chans, and we have to start, looking at different social medias to seeing, who is posting the guns up constantly, like you're saying. And we have to kind of tell on those people, or report those people. And hopefully that will help. But I feel like that's a job within the job we already have. You know what I mean? So now, you have these people that jump on the internet. They can say what they want to say on there and do what they want, and they're protected by the First Amendment, and they're always going to say that First Amendment, that I can say what I want. And people have taken that. I believe that people take the First Amendment and they overuse it, or they really don't understand or know what it means. They take it more so as I can say whatever I want. And I never believed that. I've always heard the saying, yeah, you can say what you want, but also somebody can also like punch your fucking lights out for saying it. You know what I mean? But I don't
I
like that
mean,
either, because you have to
hmm
understand, you I personally believe there should be some things that you shouldn't want to say. I've always thought that, even like as a young little 5-year-old kid, like I know what words to say, I will know what words not to say, and people just still just want to say whatever the hell they want unless it's a racist term or anything. Just like you were saying, how they were calling people the spics and this and that on 4chan. It's like, why even do you want to say that? That's my biggest issue. That's my biggest thing. Why do you want to say that hateful term anyway? But it's because they can sit behind and hang behind that First Amendment. And so we have to watch out for those people. We have to look out for them. We have to figure out what they're going to be. We have to figure out what their next move is. We have to play like this human game of chess in order to figure out where they're going to strike next, so we can be there and be like, not this time. But still we have to protect our families on top of that, just in case we still miss them. Then we have to still go to work. Then we got to carry that on our back, like you said earlier today. You went to work and you were talking amongst your group and everything, but you still have that, everybody has that weight on their shoulders, and you still have to do your job. You still have to talk to your wife or your husband. You still got to talk to your kids. You got to show them love. You got to come home and cook dinner. I may be talking about like just the small intricacies of life. But we still have to do all these things within life, and we still have that second job of having to look out for these other people whose sole life purpose is to be hateful. And we have to duck and dodge and watch out for them so we can continue to survive here. And that's a problem that we have. That's a problem that we as black people have. I know that, there's some Asian people that go through it. I know that every race has to go through it, but I'm talking specifically about us because I'm black and I have to worry about that. You see what I mean? Because it's tough being black here. It's always been tough being black in America. I understand that. I get that. But, just because Trump became president a few years ago, and that allowed people to just jump out and just act and say and do whatever the hell they want. And now they got that battery in their back, man. So everything is just so much more tougher for us. So now we got to do this second job of not just looking out for, it's actually just a third job, really, because we got a regular job. We got to look out for ourselves. And now we got to try to find these people online and on 4chan, just to make sure that we can go to work safely and continue our lives. That's the biggest problem with me. Yes, we have a mental health issue. I'm also kind of sick of us always having to use mental health as a reason or a problem, or as an excuse, or allowing people to get off because of their mental health issues. I'm sick of always having to hear about that. I'm not saying mental health is real. Of course, it's a real thing, but I'm sick of that. Racism is not a mental health issue. You want that. You want that to be racist. I don't care about that whole I was taught bullshit. That's what you want in your life, bro. That is the type of person that you want to be. That is not a mental health issue. And yes, I understand, like, we have to do the universal checks for the gun so we can have better gun control safety. I get it. I understand. And all that matters. But at the end of the day, bro, If they're not doing their job, whether it be the government or whoever the hell else polices social media, we still have to walk the streets, bro. We still can't walk the streets, and that's the biggest problem to me. It's like we just keep having job after job stacking up against us just so we can take our babies to school, just so we can go to work, just so we can eat dinner. You see what I mean? And that shit is tiring. It's tiring. It shouldn't be like that, bro.
So I understand it shouldn't be like that, but it is like that, and it's been like that since we got over it. So um, what is your solution? Because I feel your pain and I identify your pain and I
Um,
understand your hurt. But
mhm.
me personally, I've always felt like that was a responsibility as a black man. Not only do I have to watch my back, but I gotta watch my people's back, right? And I've
Right.
always, since the age of like fucking young, I've always had weapons on me anytime I went outside. I've been racially profiled by police, by white
Hmm.
people in the neighborhood. I've been called nigger. All of that has happened to me. All of that has happened to me. Only thing that really hasn't happened to me racist wise is to get hung and like, some other terrible atrocity. But when it comes to all racist things dealing with racist police, having racist neighbors, going to school and motherfuckers try to bully me because I'm black and they call me nigger. All of
Right.
these racist type of things you could deal with, I've dealt with as a young man and continue to deal with as an adult, all the
Hmm.
stereotypes and shit like that. You know what I mean? So I've done dealt with all of that, and I'm trying to come at it from a position of kind of like Martin Luther King ish. I'm not him, obviously, right?
I
That's
feel you. No,
obvious.
I feel what you're saying, but I'm
You
coming
know what
at
I'm
it from
saying? I'm
more
trying
of
to
a.
come in from an issue of peace and
I'm not.
understanding. Okay,
It's
so what
I'm
is
tired
your
of
solution?
understanding. Just look, first and foremost, let me say this: just because I don't have
Hmm.
a correct or right solution doesn't mean that I can't be upset about it or I can't,
Oh yeah, you can
So
definitely. Of course, of
my
course,
thing
of course.
is two things. It's two things, and we talked about this before, but I'm gonna say it again. Two things is either this: we have to get together as a people and pack up and
Hmm.
get our shit and like get the fuck out of here so and move somewhere else. And
Hmm.
one thing we have to understand is people, they always say that black people, we can't stick together. We can't do anything together. We'll kill each other. We'll shoot each other up. Understand this. White folks kill each other just as much as we do, if not more. Let's get that out on the table
Per
right now.
capita, it's the same. It's almost the same exact numbers
That's what I'm saying, bro. You're
per
gonna
capita.
kill what you're around. There's no such thing as
Yeah.
black on black crime. You're
Mhm.
gonna kill what you're around. You're gonna shoot and rob what you are around. That doesn't mean that we still can't get together and move up and get the fuck away from them. Okay. And number two, I'm sorry to have to say this, but like it's war, retaliation. That's the only thing, and I understand. Like, bro, I'm telling you, I understand what you said about the whole Black Panther movement, and we tried it before, and they made us just like this organization of just hate. But I don't give a shit anymore because they're not doing. They want their guns, and they claim that they want it for hunting and they want it for safety. That's bullshit, bro. It's all bullshit. Don't nobody fucking hunt like that. Don't nobody, don't, please, bro. Don't nobody really care about hunting like that. Let's be for real here, okay? They want guns so they can fucking annihilate, and they want to annihilate us. They want to look. It happened yesterday, bro. They annihilated them little babies, man. 8 years old. Are you killing me? Are you kidding me, bro? Look, I'm telling you, the only thing that the racist white folks will understand is if we retaliated and did some shit to them, and then they will be like, oh, now it's a race thing. Now it's a race war. Now it's a this. Now it's that we have to get together and do this against them when all the time we should have gotten together. We should have been ones to get together and move the fuck out, but we can get together and do something to show them that we're not taking this anymore. I don't want to do this kumbaya shit with them. They're not going to sit down at the table. They're not going to talk to us. Look at Trump. Trump swore to God that he was going to sit down and try to make moves and do all this other shit. I don't care whatever anybody says that he tried to do this and he tried to implement this and he did this for us is bullshit. Okay, I'm not saying I necessarily want war, but it is time for a fucking retaliation. It is time to do something drastic and major, bro. It is because we can't listen, bro. We cannot walk the streets. We can't, bro, without being profiled. Come on, man. Stop and frisk. That's for us, bro. They don't stop and frisk each other. That's for fucking us, man.
So,
They don't care about
question.
us, man. I'm sick. I don't want to kumbaya with them. I don't want to sit at the table with them. I don't want to have no peace white people summit, bro. I don't know what's going to happen if we do it or if we don't do it. I don't know if it's going to solve anything, but I do know that it's going to let them know that we mean fucking business and we're sick of it.
All right, I understand, man. So, where do we start then?
I don't know, bro, because I'm not the person really to go out and start it. I'm not that. I'm not that like Malcolm X type person, boy. I just have like Malcolm X thoughts. You know what I mean? Like
That's that
I'm
to me. That is not great. That is
I feel you. I feel you.
that
But
you
I'm
need
sick. I'm
to.
sick because you're on this peaceful shit, bro. And I'm sick of being peaceful because we've been being peaceful our entire existence being here. They're the ones that say, hey, no, let's be peaceful. They're the ones who jump on social media and take our shit that we create for us and they make and they put their little milk toast hands all over it, man. And they're saying, oh no, it's for everybody. We all can do it. And then they call us racist, bro. They're the ones who are putting fucking raisins and corn in our collard greens and shit. You know what I mean? And their guacamole. They're fucking up the shit that they created for themselves, man. And we have to sit there and take it, or because we don't want to be called racist, or we're the problems. Like we want to have this big open universal world where everybody can do everything. Like sometimes we want to have shit to ourselves. Don't you, as a black man, want to have just like some black shit that only black people know about? Because they definitely got some white shit that they do. You know, like, so let me ask you this then. What is all this
Hmm.
peaceful shit going to do? What is it going to do? Because we've been peaceful this whole time throughout, ever since slavery's been over. We've been peaceful. We've been trying to work with them. We've been trying to like, and they still, it's still, bro, have you ever heard of a sundown town?
Yeah, I
Where,
live
where,
near
where,
one.
that's what I'm saying, bro. But we can't go over there because when the sun goes down, they're going to fucking kill us and we won't be found. Where's the peace in that, bro? That shit is normalized. It's normal in the world. It's normal in America. So what is all this peaceful shit that we've been doing forever? Forever? How is it going to benefit us? What is it
I
going to
feel
do for
like
us?
I feel like you're generalizing a lot, right? About
I'm
white
fine,
people.
fine.
Okay, about white people in general. And we gotta remember that I'm talking about like neo Nazis and all of these radicalized white people. I guess there's other races too that don't
I'm
like
talking
this.
about them too. I'm talking
I'm
about them
talking
too.
about them solely,
Mainly, right?
mainly, all only, nigga. That's all. That's the only people I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like regular white people. You know what I mean? That's a part of like my family that's married to this motherfucker that got
I
like uncles and
understand that.
aunties.
I
And that's
understand
what
that.
I'm saying. Like
But
when,
here's my thing, though. Here's my thing. I'm
okay,
sorry to cut you off, but you always bring that up. You
I
always
always
bring up
bring it
your
up because
family. You
it's,
always bring up
yes,
your friends
because
and shit like
when
that.
you
And I got white friends
generalize,
too. I'm not
when
trying to
you
have like all.
generalize,
I'm
it's
not
not a
trying
good
to hate
idea.
all white people. I'm not trying to hate all white people, bro. But when you tell me that the white person, I'm sorry, we keep having to say, oh, he's racist, or he's neo-Nazi, or he's this. At the end of the day, he was a white man who jumped on 4chan or whatever the hell, and he got even more hatred in his soul for black people, for black skin, for nappy hair, that he decided to go and kill all those people, man. I'm talking about the elderly people, people who are going to get gifts for their grandson, and people who are going to get grocery shopping and shit, and groceries for the rest of the week, man. Are you kidding me? And we always have to generalize. Oh yeah, I'm not talking about my uncle. I'm not talking about my friends. Neither am I, bro. But at the end of the day, they're still white that did this. We're not going around killing people, bro. We can't even put two dimes together to live our life the way we want to. Everything is fucking going up. We can't, bro. I bought a bag of chicken breast the other day, and it's fucking $15. This shit
Stop
used to
eating
be
chicken.
$7. You know what I mean? This shit is
Stop
crazy,
eating
bro.
meat.
No, fuck that, man. That's not the point. The point is like we're trying to live our lives, man, and they're scouring the internet like, okay, who can we kill next? Who can we do this to next? And it's always us, man. And then we always have to throw in these generalizations, or not our white friends, or not our white family members. I get it, man. And you know what? I believe that the white people who are really cool with us, our allies, they understand that if they were to hear this and they were to say, okay, Wayne's saying white people, I think they will understand that I'm not trying to generalize because they will understand my pain, and they would understand where I'm coming from. They would know that I don't hate them because I know them enough to know that they aren't like that. They aren't the ones that's scouring the earth to try to find more hatred so they can kill. That's why I know. That's why I guess I'm so open to generalize, because the people who know that I don't mean them. They know
That's
exactly who I'm talking about.
that's what I'm saying. You don't know everybody. So that's my point. Like when we have an open conversation, we need to have clear parameters of who we talking about as the enemy. They don't. These people that's on
I
here,
think
they
they already
probably
know who the
never.
enemy is, bro.
Who I you will be really surprised because when you say I'm gonna kill all of these people here, not saying you said that, but when you say something like that, it's open to interpretation. So we have to be really careful about what we say and how we say it because words have meaning and power. So does symbols. Anyway, we have a message here that we want to go ahead and play. I'm gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
play it, Wayne. I think we just got to press the play button. So
Okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
ahead and play it. It's from David. Thanks, David, for leaving us a message.
Thank you, David.
My question is to the panel is that we as a people need to first be able to identify who we are or what we classify ourselves as. Most of us have multiple racial identities. In 1948, when I was born, my records indicated I was a Negro child. My actual race was indigenous Africanian and colonial people. So first we have to identify who we are as a people and what we relate to. 95% of the United States are, in fact, indigenous Africanians people. They are people that have been here for over 1,000 years. So if you've been in this country for 1,000 years, first, nobody discovered us. We have already been here. And those people that are claiming an identity that's not theirs because
I think it cut
That
him
was
off,
it.
but
Okay.
yeah, that was
Uh,
it.
First and foremost, let me say this. I don't think he's on the if you're still listening, David, I'm gonna call you Mr. David because you say he was born in 1948. It's all love and respect to you. Thank you for everything that you've done and that you've been through. As a man in America who's made it this far. So I just want to thank you and praise you and wish you luck and hope that you can continue on. And we thank you for your words. Um, First, what we generalize as, I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, because at the end of the day, we if you have if you're a black person, if you have light skin, dark skin, whatever it is, when I guess we got to say neo Nazis now because I can't say white because white's going to be generalizing everybody, and I'm not. But when they see us, it's just automatic black. They don't care if it's, oh yeah, I'm Afro Latino, or oh yeah, I'm not black. I'm from this part of the world. They don't care about that, bro. You just black, straight up. And they don't like it is black is black is black, man. And they're going to shoot at what they dislike, and they dislike us. It's just as simple as that. That's what I think. You know what I mean? I don't. How do you feel, Fearless? What do you think, man? Does that matter?
I
Us
think that
needing to know where I guess who we are, where we come from, or whatever.
I think that when it comes to this issue, I think what he was really, in my personal interpretation, is what he's really trying to say is that when we first got on here, the first thing I was talking about was like unity.
Okay.
Because you said today when you got on the call, when you got on stereos, a whole bunch of people cuss each other out. And I guess you
Yeah.
would say that most of these people are black folk. And the
Yeah.
fact that you're gonna call someone else a dummy or that you're stupid or your opinion doesn't matter after we have all suffered this atrocity as a community is weird to me because the whole
Yeah.
thing we're trying to do is stop an oppressor from killing us. Why we can't just all be a collective? And a lot of
Right.
us,
Okay.
a lot of people believe that you cannot continue to go further in your existence and continue to evolve if you don't know who you are and where you're from. But that shit gets deep into like metaphysics and like all of that type of stuff. That's a separate issue in terms of, at this particular point, in terms of like how to stop these things from happening. But I feel where he's coming from in terms of the unity of us being collective. And if we all have this hive mind, this like mind thought process, like, look, this is what we're going to do and this is why we're doing it because we want to stop this from happening, that's the perfect way to move forward. Of course, there's always going to be outliers, and there's always going to be people that try to kill everybody and hurt people.
Yeah.
But us
Yeah.
as a community, when I say community, I know, Wayne, you're African American predominantly, right? From what we know,
Yes.
right?
Yes. From
Unless
what
you
I
did
know.
one of
Yeah.
them, right? Unless you did one of them DNA tests. But in terms of me, I'm Afro Latino, so I've been racially profiled. Nobody can tell I'm black. I got long ass dreads. I look like a chubby Lil Wayne in this bitch. Nobody
Hmm.
knows that I'm half Latino. You know what I'm saying? I still get the same racial profile, and I get it from both ways because my family spits, right? We still need to be
Jesus.
unified as minorities because Mexican and Latino people get killed too.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that we still can't even get along as black folk. And that's what I think he was talking about. We need to be unified as black folks so we can move forward and change the world.
Okay.
Like, but we're not. Every
Now,
time we have
now, let me
discussions, we
ask you
fight.
this.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this. Once, let's say we did that. Let's just say, a light was flipped and we just became one. We finally got together and said, "Screw it, we all doing this together." What would we do next,
Mhm.
or what would happen?
So I personally feel like the things that I mentioned before is a good way to go, but these are my personal ideas. It would have to be a collective group to say, look, this is where we want to move. If people want to, and I'm gonna just keep it really, very simple. If people want to move like Malcolm X was moving before he got enlightened and went to Mecca, then that's how we move. If people want to
Yeah.
move how Martin Luther King was moving, that's how we move. And that's what it should be, a collective agreement of like, yo, this is what we want to do. Because as soon as you have one person jump out the window and start killing like neo-Nazis all over the place and shit like that, they're going to switch it around and say this person's a maniac killer, serial killer, nutball. And then what's going to happen? He's going to get locked up and everybody else going to back the fuck away and say they never did anything. Just like what they did with old boy that did that shooting on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's just us as humans, and I don't mean to be crude or rude, but 99% of the people that we know in this world are pussies. They punks. They don't got no backbone. They'll talk all day, won't do shit, won't do nothing ever in life. So that's the reason why I'm so intentional about what I'm saying we need to do. Because the other way, bro, like you gotta be really ready to die.
Yep.
Like about
Yep.
that, bro. Ain't no going the fuck home, or you gotta be
So,
ready to go to jail and getting fucked up for life. And it's
the
hard
only thing,
choices.
our only choices are just to sit down and be peaceful and let them just shoot at will
I didn't say
whenever they're
peaceful.
ready, and
I
or
never
or
said
we
peaceful.
just
I never said peaceful, Wayne. My option is not peace. I
so
never said that. When I gave my original options, all of my options was let's go and let's fight within the government to get these rules and laws passed. Let's start monitoring what these motherfuckers got going on and start reporting them. If we see something online where somebody's acting like an extremist, we call the authorities to get them the fuck up out of here. None of that's peaceful. None of that. I'm not talking about doing
so
sit-ins. I'm talking about action.
right. That's what I was. That's okay. So
I'm just not talking about going outside and killing who we think
I
are
feel you.
neo-Nazis.
I feel you. I feel you. But let's say like we are supposed to monitor these places where they can lurk and where they can spout their hate.
I mean, I did it today. It was very
There's
easy.
still a wait. I understand that, but the thing is, you went straight to a place where they can do that. There's a
Hmm.
whole plethora of social medias that you can jump on. I don't know if 4chan is an app or whatever the hell it is,
It's
but
like a
from what I hear,
messaging.
it's something
It's
like a
simple.
message
Just
board.
go on there. Yeah, it's just a message. It's like
So
it's literally how AOL. Remember AOL Messenger used to be, and they had
yeah, yeah.
Messenger like chat rooms. It's just chat rooms. Basic crap.
So it's an easy thing to get on.
Easy
Why
peasy.
is it even available? You see
I
what I mean?
don't.
So now
Yo,
we have to
I don't know
monitor
why
it to
it's
make
available.
sure nothing happens. But why is it even a thing?
I mean, I think it's a thing because if we
Why not just
want
shut
to
it down?
stop, they can shut it. We can get them to try to shut it down because, believe it or not, the New York Attorney General, she don't give a fuck about nothing. She go off. She's the one that sued like the Trump organization. She don't care. She sues
Mhm.
everybody. She coming after your shit. She just did the New York Attorney General just did an investigation on Discord and 4chan. And Discord is for gamers, Wayne. That's for
Yeah,
gamers and
supposed to
stuff.
be. Yeah,
That's all it is. That's what it was meant to be. You know what
and
4chan
they
was made for, dog?
and they turned it into a symbol of hate. What was 4chan made for?
It was just a regular old message room. But
Yeah,
until Trump got into office and all of that crazy shit happened, until that point, man, people just use that shit for anime
right,
and and
right.
and and free pornos. That's what it was used for, to be honest, quite honest. 4chan was used for those methods, right? But then with people being more radicalized now and the neo-Nazi ranks swelling up to an all-time high,
Hmm.
that right there made people be like, you know what? Boom. We're going to just start utilizing all of these free chat rooms.
Right.
And some people use Instagram, but they know Instagram will flag you quick. Like you can't do everything on there. People can easily tell on you. On those other things, you can be a little bit more anonymous. And I
Hmm.
know what you're saying, like it's more work to do, right? It's more shit to do. It's more on us. But I feel like we can have government programs available to do that. And if we want to do it, it's a good idea because people out there are still pedophiles. They're still killing kids. And that's why there's groups together of parents and people that care that actually monitor all that shit. We can do the same thing, but just for a
Hmm.
different purpose.
Word. Now, real quick,
We have
before
another
you go any
message too.
further, yeah,
Yeah.
hold on. Before you do that, just for everybody
Hmm.
who is on the chat with us, who's talking, who's listening to us, please don't be afraid to jump in and leave some words, tell us what you feel, because it's just us two, and we're just kind of spouting off and it's just telling how we feel and what we
Hmm.
think should be, what should happen and what should be fixed. Y'all let us know, because I'm sure there's some people who are much more intelligent than us that may disagree with us or agree with us, but y'all please, don't be afraid or ashamed to let us know how you feel. How do you think we can fix things? How do you think we can help? What can we do to make it easier for us as black men and women to walk down the street, to go to the store, to go to work, and to take our babies to school? Y'all, please let us know. Um,
Yeah. So can we go ahead
yeah,
and play that message? Thanks, Wayne, for
yeah,
saying
yeah.
that. Oh, and by the way, we are the YFM podcast,
Hmm.
formerly known as You Feel Me Podcast, YFM. I'm Jimmy B. Fearless, and my co-host is Big Homie Wayne. So just to introduce ourselves, if you never heard of us before. So let's go ahead and play a message from who?
Got cut off. I feel like this is an issue of parenting and community. Like the government
Mm.
is not cannot really do much unless because they're literally doing the opposite. I'm a teacher, so right now they're banning critical race theory. Right.
Right.
So say you
Right.
had a child that's growing up in a very extreme conservative Republican white household and their parents are racist. At least maybe if they come to school and they might get another optics of American history, they might be able to think for
Hmm.
themselves. But now those
Exactly.
very parents are getting rid of critical race theory. So my
Right.
question is, how can you combat these young white men who have rage issues and racist issues and are violent and on top of that have access to their parents' guns, like gun collections? You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not my job to get on the internet and try to find who these potential mass shooters are going to be. It's the parents and the
Yes.
community, the white
Yes.
community. And they're never.
That's what I mean. It's a whole, yes, who? That is a whole other job that we have to do in order to survive. We have to raise kids, go to work, cook, clean, do all this. And then when we put the kids to bed, we got to jump online and find these people before they kill our entire, just all of us, everything. And I feel you on that. And I kind of feel like that's low key the thing, what you said about critical race theory. I kind of feel like they low key know, like that's a way to teach hate, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because they'll say it's because it's you just try to make white people, you try to make us apologetic for what happened when we didn't do it. And it's not about you not doing it. Your ancestors did it. It's a part of history. Just like you teach that Christopher Columbus was the first person to find America, when that's bullshit. You want to teach that. You want people to know that everything about American history that white people did, that white people just made so fucking grand, you want to teach that. But when it comes, excuse me, but when it comes to this critical race theory, when it comes to wanting to teach your kids about slavery and what you did and the disgusting things that you did to this group of people for absolutely no reason at all, you don't want to teach that because you're afraid that you're going to have to walk around and be apologetic. No, they have to think of it as what it is, a part of American history. Stop trying to erase American history because you don't want to say, God damn, I'm sorry. That's crazy to me. And I also feel that way too. I feel that way is like they low key know that you're creating racists by taking that teaching out of schools. Because if you don't teach that, you can teach your kids like it's okay to dislike these people. It's okay to be afraid. That's what it mostly is. Be afraid of these black people. So when they come up to them and like, hey, Daddy, why is their skin so dark? Why is their hair different? Why is it this? That should have been something that they already been taught in school. But now you're taking out the critical race theory. Now you're taking out that situation. Now you're taking out that teaching. So now that just breeds more hate, and it's automatic. It's you take out that teaching, and the hate becomes automatic. That's what I feel about it.
So to whose response, I'm just looking for solutions that can actually help our community. And the reason why I suggested that is because that's the same thing that they do with pedophiles in the community. And I use that example because that's where I got the idea from. But again, honestly, and this is just my thought process, I don't feel like at this particular moment in time that my solutions are going to get any respect or any thought process because of anger and emotion. So I would say this: whenever y'all ready to start smoking them, just let me know, cause I've been ready. So I'm just not an ultra violent person. I'm always on defense. I've never been a person on offense. But since you know me, Wayne, I've always been that way. I've
Yeah.
always been ready. I'm ready for the nuclear fallout that eventually is going to happen. And I've said
Mhm.
this when we first started our podcast: there is going to be a race war. I just don't want that to happen because I look at history and that's my favorite thing to think about. It's history because it always repeats itself. And this shit to me reminds me a lot of what happened back in Germany all those years ago. And it's not our fault at all.
So
It's
let
been
me
like this since we first got here. So I'm not providing
right,
any
but that's
more
not an excuse.
solutions.
But that's
I,
not an excuse. We have to
I'm
stop
not
saying
giving
that.
no
Like it's just
excuse.
been that way.
I'm not
It's just
giving
been
no
that way.
excuse. I'm not saying that. Don't put those words in my mouth. What I'm saying is that it's been like this from the jump. So whatever happens, happens next. Because the escalation is done on one side. If people want to go ahead and do that as unity, and our unified message is to go ahead and start attacking the people that's attacking us, I'm with it. I'm with it. But
Let
I
me
will
ask you.
say I'm not providing no more solutions during this time. If people are too upset. And being
Let me.
pragmatic during this period is stupid. And I just
Yeah.
thought about that. So that's my fault. I apologize for trying to be civil and trying to have some type of way to think about it. It's not the right time. It's not the right time. Go ahead, Wayne. I'm
Let
sorry.
no, it's fine. Let me ask you because of who asked the question, and I know I didn't answer it. If anything, I think I just kind of agree with her even more. But let me ask you if you know. I know you say you're not trying to provide any solutions. I get you. But to her question, I believe her question was, as a teacher, how do you? I'm trying to figure out the best way to say it. How do you not go about teaching a critical race theory when you know, for one, it's the best thing to do. For two, it's a part of American history. And three, it could be that thing that stops racism. It could be that thing that brings white people and black people, at least as kids, together. How do you go on about your day? I know you're not a teacher. If you kind of put yourself in her shoes, in her position, how do you go about not teaching what it is that you're supposed to teach in order to help the world
I
and
don't
live with
understand.
yourself, I guess?
I don't understand because I'm not a teacher. But I have no idea. Do they still have history class in school?
I would assume so. Yeah.
So why do we have this name from this book that was written so long ago? And we let these Republican people take that term and just run with it so they can win the primaries that's coming up this month or coming up this
Hmm.
year. That's what all this is about. Because I guarantee y'all, none of y'all ever heard that word until 3 years ago. That was forced down the conservative throats of people. They put it on Fox News. They put it on all them fucking news channels. And the CNN was like, and MSNBC was like, what the fuck is going on? Why do we keep talking about critical race theory?
Hmm.
So my suggestion, I'm not a teacher. I don't know. But I don't understand why we can't like teach like American history because that's a part of American. I'm so confused. I don't know why it has to be critical race theory or why we have to use those keywords. Why we can't just say like, okay, so the Dutch invented slavery
It's
and they invented the slave trade and just talk
it's
about it. Like, go ahead.
it helps separate us. It's
I
another thing
understand.
that they do to separate.
I understand the reason why you can't do it, but well, my question is why can't we just teach Black history in school because it's American history?
Hmm.
Am I lost? Do we not talk about the Indian American War? Do we not talk about the French Revolution anymore? Do we not talk about these? Do we not talk about war? If you're talking about the Civil War, the main point of the Civil War would be because of what? The South having issues with ownership and them succeeding from the rest of the country.
Hmm.
So how are we not talking about racism during that point? So I don't know why we need this
Because
these keywords. I just don't
I
understand
think
it.
it's because it blames, and that's what they don't like. They said it makes it feel sorry, but what it blames. It blames them for one of the most disgusting and heinous crimes that America has ever perpetrated,
Right,
and that's
but we teach American history, so we're already teaching this stuff.
right.
And like,
But here's the thing: America, we're not losers, quote unquote. Like all the wars that we've been in, for the most part, we've been on top. USA, USA. You know what I mean? And for this thing right here, this disgusting act that they did, they took this group of people from their country and made them slaves for ages. So much so that there's still PTSD within us, in our community. Because like I always said, it's always like, okay, kids, open up your books. We're going to read about slavery 1 month a year, probably 30 minutes to an hour a day. Okay, we're done. Close those books and pull out your math books and let's learn about fractions. And we're like, hold on a second. Wait a minute. I want to know
maybe
about this racism shit. Like, what the
maybe
hell
I'm too
happened? You
maybe I'm
know?
too old, or maybe I went to school in a different state or whatever the fuck. I have no idea what happened. Maybe and I haven't been in grade school in years, right? Right? Since I was 18, you know what I mean, or whatever. I haven't been
Yeah,
in like grade school, but like when I was in elementary, we talked about history all year long. It was just one of the subjects. You had little hour
right.
blocks. You had an hour block of this, that, boom, boom, bow. So we had an hour block of history. And we had tests on that shit. Then when I got into like high school, we had a bunch of tests. So I just don't know what happened. So maybe who can shed some more light on it? Like when did they take it out of school? Like when and why did that happen? Is it because of standardized tests? Is it because of the books? Because I'm so confused of like how we are not teaching history anymore. But who just left a message? Can I go ahead and play it, Wayne?
Yeah, yeah, please do. Please do.
All right.
So really quickly, because I know your initial conversation wasn't really about how American history is taught in schools. You're talking about public schools. If you were to look at a textbook from my grandmother's era versus my era, it's going to teach two totally different versions of American history. There was generations that grew up thinking that Christopher Columbus discovered America versus my generation that understood that he slaughtered Native Americans, indigenous people, chopped their ears off for gold. He completely annihilated populations of the indigenous people. And even me saying the word indigenous people is a change from Indians. So American history has been taught continuously in different ways, specifically because it's the oppressor who's actually creating the textbook. So yeah, that's the big, huge difference. If you teach critical race theory, you're teaching it from another standpoint of being critical about American history, as opposed to just saying, oh yeah, we had to grab some of these African people who were savages anyway, bring them over here, tame them, make them slaves, pick cotton. Literally right now start American history when it comes to racism in the civil rights era. They only teach Dr. Martin Luther King and Little Rosa Parks. They don't teach the Black Panther Party. Do you understand the difference? Like, critical race theory is going to tackle history from the perspective of all of the parties involved. So it's a huge difference, and it gets very deep. It gets very personal.
Hey, I'm sorry. I want to ask a question then. So within your school as a teacher, you can't just teach that? Is that not allowed as a teacher?
Right. Like it would make you lose your job if you
Like,
just
would you
kind of,
lose your job if you like,
yeah.
yo, we're gonna talk about Malcolm X? Because And the thing that's cool is that, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King did not get along.
Right.
They were not gang for years. Not nothing personal. They were trying to fight. They had two different ideologies.
Right.
One, Martin Luther King was like on his Gandhi. You know what I mean? He was on his Gandhi. And then,
Non-violent.
Malcolm X was on his not Gandhi, the
Hey,
opposite. He
by
wanted to
any
eat
means
and
necessary.
smoke. Right.
And then
So
hold on. Another question of who as well, if you're answering that, who
sorry,
what
we making
happens?
it
What
about you.
happens?
I
Yeah.
apologize.
what happens in February on Black History Month? What are you
Like,
allowed
where
to
y'all allowed to
teach
teach?
then?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
such a good question.
yeah.
That's such a good question. But
But with that being said, I don't Fearless, I don't want to continue to keep harping on this here. I do have like a few other questions as far as the shooting went yesterday. Pretty much both of the shootings, the one that happened yesterday in Texas and the one that happened
in
the
Buffalo.
Tops supermarket. I've been hearing a lot of things where people would say, having cops or having security in elementary schools would help. And do you think that would help? Do you think that having cops in elementary schools, like kindergarten through fifth grade, would stop these mass shootings? And do you think that having more guns would help what's happening right now? If everybody just had
Strapped up.
an AR, yeah,
Right.
like
Just walk down the street.
somebody just walked in a grocery store and started shooting up, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, I got my AR too. Let me shoot at this guy. Or do you think it would be more of a problem where if somebody like I don't know bumped into you or stepped on your shoe or pissed you off? Because I always feel like you haven't. Right.
Yeah.
I always feel like if you had a gun on you, that's a completely different kind of power. I think that people have like a gun on their waist or on their person, they become unstoppable, or they think they are. And they just waiting to pull that trigger. They're waiting for somebody to piss them off. That's how I kind of feel sometimes, So do you think like having guns would help the mass shootings that's been happening? Do you think it would lessen them? Do you think we would take the mass shooter down more? And do you believe that having security in elementary schools would stop people from just like being so pissed off that they go into these schools and start shooting up little 8-year-old babies?
So supposedly, from what I've read today, was that there was 3 cops in there that he had to go through first before he made it to the class. He killed 3 police officers, or was able
So
to get past 3.
They were already
That's
at
what
the
I
school.
heard. Yeah, they was just at the school, just like security though, like regular old security cops, like
Yeah.
I guess like school cops, which is part of like depending on where you living at. I went to a real bad school in high school, kind of. So like we had police officers as it got worse and worse with like more gangs and stuff, more people getting jumped. So they started having police officers. So they carried guns and everything. And that's what supposedly was at his school, right? And then of course we know there was an off-duty police officer at Tops, and this dude ran through him. I don't think that having like security is going to help anything if you have people that are coming in with full body armor, dog, and like bulletproof face masks and helmets and have high capacity weapons with training and multiple bullets and then a sidearm piece just to be protected. I do not feel like a police officer is going to be able to stop that person.
Right.
Because you have to have such precise aim to be able to kill them. They're coming through like they're going through war zones. And cops ain't carrying around armor piercing bullets. For one, they hella expensive. And for two, what? Like,
and then the shooters have more military.
And they're on a mission. So this, it's like protecting and serve is very different than I want to kill because of hate. Those are 2 different types of mind states. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So no, I do not feel like loading up schools with a whole bunch of police officers is a good idea. What I will say though is that did you know, Wayne, in Gwinnett County, every school, because it's like the last day of school in Gwinnett County, every school had police officers. Every school.
No, I didn't know that.
Every school had police. So imagine what that even looks like to the kids. Like,
I mean, I think
they
the
don't
kids
know
nowadays that shit probably looks normal.
But I mean,
maybe it makes them feel safe. Even at 8 years old, they'll know that hey, at least we're safe now. Because we never had to go through that shit.
Right. Like we didn't. Like Columbine happened when we was in school, right? But it was that happened with these Caucasians over there. You know what I'm saying? Like we wasn't thinking about it happening to us. And plus, cats brought guns to our school all the time. where I,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like kids. But that was because there was some
God.
bad ass kids out there wilding out. But they ain't gonna kill nobody. I
Yeah, they
mean, they
didn't
ain't gonna
shoot
shoot them.
each other. Yeah.
Yeah, they just hang because they tired of getting jumped where
Not
I'm
saying it's
from.
right. Not saying it's right, but
Right.
still,
The same. So no, to the first question, I don't think that having armed police guards in schools is even good for the kids because that's all some more Gestapo type of shit where you
City of
having like,
God type shit.
yeah, like you don't want that to start. That's how kind of like it starts. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we on the military control, like martial law type stuff. You don't even want that to be. The baby's supposed to go there to learn and have fun, like straight up, and you know, gain that communal type of learning. You know. And then your second question was, should we just start all carrying around AR-15s and stuff like that? What's going on, son? Thanks for joining. Appreciate you, brother, for coming back and
Son,
joining us.
man, for real,
Um,
bro. You are my Negro, man. I remember you from Saturday, bro. Man, whatever you got to say, man, please, man, jump into the conversation, man. But go ahead, Fearless,
so,
man. What you were saying,
so,
G?
what son was talking about on Saturday, he was like, you know, I'm running around like I'm ready for war.
Hmm.
And he was like, we all supposed to be loved. You know, we are a people of love. We're not a people of war. Agree to disagree. But what I would say is that us walking around with AR-15s to protect ourselves is not a good idea.
Yeah.
Because back to my solutions that I said previously, hey yo, can we please just get like one little thing changed in law? Can you please have to go to a class before you can buy a big ass gun? Is it that hard? Can you
Right.
go get a
Yeah.
mental evaluation before you have a semi-automatic weapon? The only thing you got to do, Wayne, is go to like a gun show and get a $10, $15, $20 piece called a switch,
That's
and you can
it.
turn that bitch into an automatic. Can we
That's it.
please do that? Like, can we not like have the ability to have manufacturers create bump stocks and sell them on the internet
Hmm.
so you can do more mass spraying because you have the
Why
ability
do,
to shoot more
bro?
capacities?
Why do you want to
Like,
annihilate?
right. Like, what are we
Why?
doing? Like, so I know, no, no, no. Having a gun on you at all times, that's y'all business. I know how I'm rocking.
Hmm.
But that has nothing to do with like neo Nazis. That has to do with everybody in general. You know what I'm saying? But like us walking around like that, I don't think that's the answer. But I don't know because I don't know the answer for sure. You know. But I know
Hmm.
they got a lot of them, so maybe we should ask them too. Wayne, you want to go ahead and go to like the comments and stuff?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and play the messages, man.
Okay.
I mean, if the talk is protection of the schools, the thing is you can't protect the schools because remember, it's the students that come back shooting. It's not, this isn't just people who got an issue with schools. No, most of the time it's the students who come back and shoot up the fucking school. So what is it that they feel the school is doing to them? We understand it's bad that it happens, but what do they feel the school is doing to them for them to come back and be like, all right, let's light this bitch up?
I
Um,
think it's a little deeper than that. I don't think it really is the school's fault most of the time. I think you may have those few situations where like a kid is being made fun of, just like the kid that shut up the school in Texas yesterday.
Sandy Hook,
Uh,
or
I
I
heard
was talking about Sandy Hook. Yeah, but yeah.
oh, but no, I'm talking about the shoot from yesterday. I
Right.
heard some stuff saying that the kid was bullied because he lived with his grandmother, so he really didn't have too much money, and they were making fun of his clothes and everything, but he still went up and he didn't shoot like that school that he went to. He shot up the elementary school, with a bunch of young kids that didn't say a damn thing about him. You know what I mean? So I think it kind of starts, because kids can be kind of cruel growing up in high school. You gotta learn how to play the dozen. You gotta know how to even roast back, or you gotta learn how to take it, or and some people just kind of find that one person who just kind of sits in the cut. Maybe their shoes ain't fresh, their clothes ain't good, and they want to make fun of that person. And that really digs deep on a person's it just on your soul. Because in high school, man, that's when the shit really matters, because that's when you're trying to find yourself. Like they always say, you should always know a little, kind of, sort of, who the type of person you are when you're in your junior year, senior year of high school. You kind of figure yourself out, you know. And so that shit kind of works on you a little bit, and it kind of, I guess, it kind of depresses you, and especially when you don't have enough money for clothes or shoes or whatever. Y'all can say like that doesn't matter. I get it, but it wears down on a person. He just took his frustration out on the absolute wrong thing in the absolute wrongest way. So I don't think it's really the school's fault per se, because the shit could be happening at home. maybe you have a horrible mother and father who treat you like shit. Maybe sometimes all you need is like some hugs, and you need to tell your kids that you love them and shit like that. Maybe it'll make them feel just a little bit better. So I don't feel like it's necessarily the school's fault to where they want to go and just annihilate and shoot and kill everybody, man. You see what I mean?
Who said earlier that it's the parents? And I agree with that, but we can't control people and how they parent their children, right?
Yeah,
If I
right,
mean, you
right.
can if they're like a terrible person and they get social services involved, but you see what that does to the child as well, being in foster care, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you really got to understand that it's the parents that needs to teach their kids. And I don't know how you change someone's opinion from being hateful or being a terrible parent. Some people are evil as hell for no reason, just because they can't, beat their demons, so they're evil.
Yep.
And
Yep.
as a person that grew up around that stuff can affect you. You can become a demon yourself if you let it affect you.
Yeah.
So I think that, of course, we've all been talked about in school, right? Unless we all on here was super popular. You know what I mean?
Right.
We've all been talked about in school. We've all been ranked on, or whatever y'all call it, Joneses and shit like that.
Yeah.
We've all had, everyone that had someone that's like a bully. Everyone that has somebody like that. And that stuff is hard to deal with, certainly if you let it fester. That's what I'm saying. Like, I am a big proponent of mental health, talking to a therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist. You know, like, you need to talk to someone that is professional to get help. I'm a big proponent of that because it helped me in my life. But
Hmm.
people think that shit is taboo. They don't want to. Oh, I talk to my friends and family. Man, whatever. Talk
Right.
to someone and get help. Because all these people say they have mental health issues. I was bullied. I was this. I was that. Well, talk to somebody about it. So who left a message? I'm gonna go ahead and play both of those. All right, Wayne.
Yeah. Let's go ahead.
Okay.
Quick answer to your question. I can't teach what I want to teach. I have to
Oh
teach
my
based on
God,
the curriculum that is
that's
Yep.
already
ridiculous.
implemented within the school, especially public school. The
Oh
children
my
are
God.
tested with standardized tests. The information on those tests is going to be based on the information that I'm teaching from those public school books. So, to the best of my ability, I try to have conversations that are, critical, and I definitely do my own thing when I close my classroom door. But for the most part, I am bound to teach the information that the United States government wants me to teach our children. And
Hmm.
I love the fact that you want to stay in discussions of solving these problems. And a major thing to solve the problem is to educate your own children. I want to leave one more message, though, towards the mass shooter.
Yep.
I think that most definitely he specifically targeted Buffalo, New York. I'm in New York City as well because we have
Jesus.
extremely harsh gun laws. It's not the same as Texas or Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's totally different. So who's to say what would have happened if he had did that same thing in Kansas City? But I don't think it would have gone down exactly like that. And I think black men in particular are going to be feeling some type of way about the like not feeling like they can protect their communities and their families. And there's already so many different ways that they stop us from having guns and allowing us to feel like we can protect ourselves. So I'm kind of torn on that question because I feel like you definitely need to, in America, defend your family and your property.
Word.
Because they're not going to do anything they're not going to get rid of their guns. So, you know what I'm saying? We bring in a knife to a gunfight, and this is the result of what's going on. But I wish you brothers have a good evening. Thank you for the conversation and take care.
Thank you, who.
All right.
I
Thank you.
would
We
love
appreciate
to.
it.
I would love to go ahead and say something about the guns. Just really quickly. So, I started buying guns because as a person that's been, shot at before, it's a terrifying feeling when you don't have something to protect yourself. So, like,
I can
literally
imagine.
bringing a knife to a
Hmm.
gunfight, literally. And the times that it's happened to me, one time it was for me. The other times I was just around the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, you ducking under, you ducking under a big ass trash can in the summertime that smells like the grocery store that it's coming from, and somebody's shooting out shots, and you hear like the metal pinging on the trash can. You hoping that it don't come through and bust your head wide open.
Hmm.
So that's why I carry a gun. because I've actually been in those situations. I've seen
So
people die
it's
from
like a
guns.
PTSD for you. Yeah, like a
To
PTSD.
me, it's not PTSD. It's just that I know how people get busy. And
Yeah.
I gotta be the same level. I have to meet that aggression, possibly in the street with it. That's why I
Mhm.
carry pistols. That's why I have rifles. That's why I have bulletproof vests. That's the reason why if some shit goes down, me and my wife got go bags and we can be out of this bitch in 3 minutes. But that's because of my personal experience. To say
Mhm.
that every black man should, feel emasculated by this, I can totally agree with what who was coming from. Because I feel like a lot of frustration that you can't protect your elderly and you can't protect the children. So, I'm torn on the gun things too, because as a gun owner, I say yes. If you going outside and you don't have a weapon on you, you crazy. But that's my personal choice because of my
Mhm.
personal history. But if you're in the suburbs, you feel safe or some shit like that, you don't have to. But I definitely would say if you decide to start buying weapons, decide to start carrying them, have training. Go to the range, get knowledge, learn about it. Go on YouTube. And don't just rely on guns because you got to pull the gun out. Learn how to fight. Learn how to rumble because your life might depend on it. For real, guns are not a solvent. They don't solve every situation. Because somebody else might have a gun too. Then what you gonna do when y'all out of bullets? Throw it at each other? No, you gonna have to fight hand in hand. Like there ain't no game. But thank you, who, so much for those messages. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate
Um,
that.
you wanna go ahead and
Real
play the
quick.
next message, man? Oh,
Oh
go ahead.
yeah,
I'm so
real quick
sorry.
before we do, man, I just want to go ahead and put it out there again. We are the YFM podcast. That's the You Feel Me podcast. You can find us on YouTube and anywhere your free podcasts are sold. Of course, you can find us here as well. You guys, please like and subscribe. These are the type of things that we talk about. We also talk about, hip hop every now and then, just our opinions on different things. Again, that's the YFM podcast. I'm the big homie Wayne, and of course, you have Jimmy B. Fearless. Of course, he's one of the greatest rappers of all time. If y'all have never heard of him before, y'all find some of his music on Apple Music. But we're going to go ahead and play out the rest of these messages, if you don't mind,
Go ahead.
Fearless.
Yeah, go ahead, Wayne. I can't pronounce the first name. Keep it
All
on.
right,
Who is it?
let me see here. We have Diamante.
Thanks, Boogie, for the
Diamante.
follow. I appreciate it, my G. Following you back
Here's
as
the
well.
here's the thing though. When Columbine happened,
Hmm.
they came back to shoot bullies, people that pissed them off. That was the first one, I think, in '98. Very new to America. Um,
Yeah.
we was able to understand the situation, right? Bullied, blah blah blah, whatever. When Sandy Hook happened, that set the chambers off, right? Because it's kids getting killed. Now that this is happening in Texas and it's more bodies. And you know what I don't understand? That the
Hmm.
Sandy Hook changed the AR-15 rules. This one, I don't know what it's going to do to gun laws, particularly. I hope they really do start enforcing it. But
Hmm.
I don't know, y'all. The way they like blowing up this transgender quote all over it is crazy as well. Like, I ain't even trying to get into conspiracies, but this gun shit is like needs to be controlled for sure.
I
Okay.
have no idea on God's green earth why they put that this dude was possibly trans
Yep.
into
Yep.
this conversation. That is
Yep.
some of the most that is some of the most homophobic shit that I've ever seen. Because
Hmm.
don't lie and act like you're not saying that he smoked a whole bunch of people because he was confused about his sexuality.
Right. Yeah.
Not the
It's just
fact that
another
he
way to
was
fear. It's
not the
another
fact that he
fear.
was bullied, not the fact that he had mental health problems. Nah, it's because he was trans. But that's
Right.
Texas though. So we real weird up in here, up in Texas. And I say we because I live in Texas, right? But I'm not
Hmm.
from here. I'm a year in. They real funny about their money. They real weird about the way they get down in this place. But yeah, I don't understand it either. I don't know why you would go and kill a whole bunch of kids. Them little kids didn't do shit to him. That man was 18. The people that graduated with him, they probably all got jobs. I mean, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? But mental health, man, it's crazy. People lose their mind. And he killed his grandma, or he shot his grandma right
Right before.
before she
Yeah.
actually survived. Supposedly she's alive. So FBI is about to go ask her a whole bunch of questions when she get help because they don't know what's going on. So yeah, man.
Let's listen to these other messages we got from
Demonte
Son here.
for that message, man. Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Wayne. You go ahead, play him.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
look, you got people who are evil and you got people who have an agenda. It seems that the people who show up with a damn agenda are merely labeled merely evil. And it's like, nah, wait a minute, take a look at these motherfuckers' agenda. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't want to put that out there that there's, you know what I'm saying, pilgrims and, you know what I'm saying, essays with such a thing. I mean, out here in Texas, there seems to be some type of alliance amongst the conservative aspect of them. I remember being in a sporting goods store, and everybody was buying ammunition. And I went up there to buy ammunition, and it was a bunch of pilgrims who all look like so-called Trump supporters and essays. And it's like, yo, hold up, cuz. Ain't nobody else up in this shit. Everybody got on the hunting gear that the pilgrim wear, looking like
Right.
they all finna go out to the fucking shooting range or something. And all of them got bullets in their hand. I'm like, what the fuck? Y'all a group or something?
They not. They not. They not. They like Wayne said earlier, man. They are not buying. I'm not buying guns to go hunt or buying bullets to go hunt.
No,
I'm
of
going
course not,
either
man.
I'm going to the range or I'm using them for
Hmm.
personal protection just in case some shit happens. Because
You let them sit most of the time.
for one, you can't hunt year round. That's first
Right.
thing, right? Boom. Second thing, not everybody do it because it's actually quite expensive. Who gonna carry this motherfucking dead body? It ain't easy, and you don't need an AR-15 to shoot a rabbit. You're gonna kill the meat. Use 22s. So let's keep it a
Do
buck.
that with a
Like,
knife.
right. Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
So let's just be honest with it. Let's keep it 100. But I don't know about, I will say that Son has a point in terms of how the conservatives feel, or how the conservative is changing in terms of the ethnicity of that group. And the reason why is because this past presidential election, Trump received the most Hispanic votes ever, and
Right.
it was like 30%
Wow.
ever
Wild,
from
man.
any other president in the United States. And it's because they say, per what was said from polls and shit, is because he had machismo. And look, man, I'm half Latin. I don't know, but I don't consider that machismo, just saying whatever you want,
Now,
you know?
now I will say that I know that a lot of Hispanics think that way.
Yeah.
They think that, just like, there is like illegal Hispanics, and they're all the ones who are American, who become Americanized, and they look down upon them. They're like,
Hmm.
let me tell you this quick story. I want to get back to the messages, but I want to tell you this quick story. This was like, God, man, how old am I? 37? Like maybe 15 years ago, I was working at a racetrack. I don't know if y'all know what a racetrack is. It's like one of those gas stations, like a Quick Trip, like a Shell, whatever you want to call it, out here in the South, right?
Right.
And I'm outside doing my thing. I'm working, and they have a Hispanic man, and he's pumping his gas. And, they have the day laborers that will across the street. They will always wait for work, and people would always come and pick them up. And, in the morning times, and the dude just started, the Hispanic guy who was pumping his gas, he just started just a regular conversation with me. And he goes, "Hey,
Uh-huh.
let me ask you a question." He said, "Let me ask you a question." He said, "You see those people over there talking about the day laborers, his own people, Hispanics over there, And he
Right.
goes, "Do you think they really want to work? You think they really want a job?"
Damn.
And I was like, yeah, of course they do. They came over here to try to have a better life for themselves, to gain some money, to send over to their family, or whatever the case is. And he
Whoop,
was
whoop.
like, nah, they don't want to work. Because if they wanted to work, they would do it the right way. They're not going about it the right way. They over here, they just want to make a couple of dollars, and they want to buy their beer, and they want to party. If they really wanted to do it, they would do it the right way. And I was just so taken back. I was like, I'm okay, but I'm like, but you don't feel like those like are your people, because I'm the person who's just like my people is my people. I don't care if my people are on drugs. I don't care if my people are rich. I don't care about any of that, because at the end of the day, we're all black and we're all trying to make it through this. So I'm gonna always have your back. Like I said, I'm a big proponent of leaving the door open. Excuse me. I don't care if you work as hard as I do. I don't care about none of that shit, bro. I'm leaving the door open for you, so you could try to make it and get as much as you can out of this life as you possibly can. He was like, "Nah, man, trust me. I did it the right way. I went about it the right way, and it was hard, but I did it." And I was like, "Yo." a lot of Hispanic people think like that, bro, and it's so crazy. It's
A
so
lot of us
crazy,
think
man. I
like
was
that too,
just
Wayne. A lot of us
yeah,
think
yeah,
like
but it
that
was,
too.
but I just thought that there was more. They were more of a together group or together race, because every
Nah,
time you see them, like it's always just like them in their community. They always, this may be a stereotype, but they always
it
like party
is.
together and things like that.
That
But I
is.
just, I was just like so shocked that he would take that stance against his own people, regardless if they were quote unquote illegal or not.
You know how certain light skinned black people don't like black people and vice versa?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's the same thing. Like for real. Like it's the same thing in the Latin community. And the crazy shit is that like Latin or like American Mexican Americans, first
Hmm.
generation, so they were like born
Hmm.
here, right? Like they don't like a lot of them don't have any connection to like Mexico. And it's the same thing for like people that's from like Puerto Rico, Brazil. Like a lot of that is just like a large amount of separation.
Yeah.
And that's my whole point. It's like we want to have solutions, which I'm not talking about again, like I said, but we want to have solutions, but unity is a beautiful thing to be able to have that. Well, I ain't talking about total because there's always going to be some, shade tree type cat in the situation, but some
Hmm.
type of unity helps. A singular message, a singular focus helps. We seen that happen with Martin Luther, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, all these great people, and you see how much of a movement that's spurred. So that's that's just my opinion on that, man. There's always gonna be people that hate each other, even within our own race group. There ain't no unity. Let's
Cool.
go
Let
ahead.
me
Go ahead
Yeah,
to the
let me get
next
this. We
message,
got
man.
some more messages. We got one from Sun, and we got a few from Diamante. Well, again, we appreciate this the conversation, guys, and we're trying to get to everybody, and we're trying to answer everybody as well too. So y'all just bear with us, and please stay with us too. Here goes Sun again.
Okay, Jimmy, that defaults people into falling within a war mindset. And that's the thing that people fight against is developing the natural war mindset that happens to any living being that is attacked within this world. It's called fighting the friction. That's all it is, right? But, black people don't want to see it like that because that ruins their illusion of what they hope America to be, that the United States has been lying to them all this time.
Hmm.
You know?
So my question, you know, that you asked me, talking about having that mindset. Yeah, I have that mindset. But this whole time and during this whole solution since Saturday until today, I've been preaching more of a nonviolent approach. But that's not on that's my personal opinion. But I also believe in unity, right?
Hmm.
So if there's a unified group that we move in, then that's the way we rock it, right? So it's real simple. I believe nonviolent approach is the best method to be able to solve these crazy 400 or 500 year problems, right? But I understand other people and having their thought process of, you know, having more of that war mind state of wanting to get revenge. I understand people having that thought. I really, really do, man. But
Hmm.
me personally, I'm on defense yet again. That's the reason why it might seem that I'm ready for war, but I'm not preaching it at all. I'm just saying I am protected. Just like you said that you went to go buy some bullets, I do the same exact thing, brother. I'm
Yeah,
just ready.
yeah.
I'm just ready for whatever, whoever.
And as a black man, look at what's been just look at what's been happening in the past 5 months. As a black man, we have to be prepared for something. And I hope that doesn't seem as if like we're wishing for it to happen or we're just afraid. I mean, I can admit I'm afraid. I am afraid. But the thing is, it's like not everybody's an ally. You don't know who's an ally. You don't know who's just smiling in your face. And then you just never know what's going to happen. If they have something on them for their protection, you should have something too. I'm not saying you should flash it or anything like that, but you should definitely have something. You got to have something going on, man.
Come on, let's go to Monte. Let's go to the next
Word.
message. Thank you, son, for that message, broski. Um,
You can say you real weird into I don't know if you'll play this in time. I'm just responding to what you're saying, my brother. But like with the Texas shit, I'm not saying y'all weird and shit. At the same time, this country is weird right now. We're in the most interesting times. I've been telling this to everybody
It feels
because
different.
when things transpire like this, everybody's got a voice, right? But everybody's tactical way of attacking something and using something like terrorizing or mass murder to push some type of politics to it, right? That's why I mentioned the AR-15 and the switch up, and now I'm mentioning how they're trying to do the gun laws. For all I know, they're trying to get rid of the guns, period, right? And then the transgender shit, like you said, why did you have to mention that? Why? I don't understand why you had to mention that.
Right.
And then also, we talk about this kid was bullied, he was poor. The dude got an iPhone 13. I know most, what? An iPhone 13? Bro,
How the fuck you get
it's
that?
just,
You poor.
Yeah. Bro, I still got the XR, the 10, bro. I'm still rocking with that. It's working well. I'm gonna keep it. But yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
know, man.
the XR
I
do
don't know.
4K. But anyway, that
Let's
was a
jump to this next
really
message.
good point. That was a
Yeah,
really good point, broski. Go ahead, man.
yeah.
my fault not to get, I was trying to finish off the last message, but bro, at the same time, bro, you gotta like realize America's soft right now. We're at the softest stages. You are making the kids softer. You're confusing the shit out of them. Of course, this crazy shit is gonna disrupt. This kid was bullied talking about he was poor and he's taking snapshots with an iPhone 13. I don't care if you got some Converse sneakers. You got the iPhone 13. Where I'm from, you could, bro, you ain't got no iPhone. You got the cheap shit. You know what I mean? So
Got the
I
cricket,
just
man.
think the
Whatever that
Got
standard
the
cricket
Obama
is.
joint,
of
man.
this eighth place trophy system that we've had in play for years, because I know it started with the sports with kids crying for eighth place. Well, now those eighth place kids are growing up
Adults.
fucking emotional than a motherfucker, bro, if they don't get what they want.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yo, Diamante, how old are you, son?
Oh,
Diamante, how old are you? I want to ask you that, man. But
nah, I know
I don't know,
he
man.
around our age because
Yeah, that's
he
right.
know when it was like first, second, and third place, and if you got third place, even the dudes that laugh like lost would still laugh at your ass. You got bronze
Yeah,
and you trash, but I'm last place, but we were still laughing. That's how we grew up,
right. You're
But
pretty much
think
in the same
about
position.
right, think about who our stars were at that time, bro. Really think about that. Like, think about the people that we looked at to just on like I'm just on a basic athletic level. Think about the people we
Yeah.
looked up to. Mike ain't
You
never
had to
lose
be
in the
like,
finals.
right, the best of the best. Wayne Gretzky. You know I gotta say
Yeah,
Wayne Gretzky, you know what I mean? But yeah,
like
man.
yeah, people that dominated, bro. Like destruction. Like Tom, we grew up around Tom. Like Tom
Right,
was like in the early 2000s, 3 chips straight. Like that's how we grew up. It wasn't no second place. It was straight up
right.
Ricky Bobby. Either you first or you last. That's how we
Yep.
grew up. But we could talk about that on another podcast because that shit is way too funny. Did he have another one or we got Cam
Yeah.
on it?
Yeah, he had another one, Diamante.
All right.
I just thought I'd come in and speak because I have Dominican and Panamanian in my blood, bro. So what I gotta
Mm-hmm.
say when it comes to Spanish America is very 50-50 right now. Whether
Word.
you're Americanized or not, is very 50-50. If you're from the old culture, that's what it matters. Did you grow up in the old culture or the new culture? Is your family, like your mom and dad, grandparents, are all English speaking 75% of the time? That's
Hmm.
Americanized. If niggas is
Yeah.
speaking English 40% and none of the time, you're really on the old culture. So usually the old culture don't accept new motherfuckers. They look down upon motherfuckers. They look down upon anybody that ain't dumb, to be honest. And vice
Yeah.
versa with the new ones only look down on them because it's true with that. I get what that guy is saying. A lot of like construction workers that are Spanish like to take shortcuts, bro. I work in the construction industry. There's new regulations. Motherfuckers don't want to buy new supplies with new regulations and shit. It is kind of fucked up on all planets.
God damn. See,
Yeah.
and I think that's what we're talking about like the inner turmoil amongst races. Like, how can we be united to fight against people and fight against oppressors? And we like, I'm going right back to what you said when we first started this because it really hit my soul. You said you've been on here all day on stereo, and every time you turn around, people are cussing and arguing with each other.
Getting angry
This
at
is
each other. Yeah.
this is probably the most civil stereo on here.
I hope so.
You know what I mean?
I
Like
really hope
straight
so.
up.
Yeah.
You know, unless they're talking about, you know, they were playing one of them games, guess the card on my head or whatever it is on here. Like, and that's sad, bro. Like that's sad. Like the inner beef is a problem. But you
Let me
know,
ask y'all this. Let me ask y'all for everybody who's listening. For you, Fearless. Like, so let's say that they have this new generation who can't take a joke, or you have to pat them up, or they want to be in eighth place or participation trophies and awards and things like that. How do you
Mhm.
go from that to being patted up to not getting what you want to saying, you know what, I'm so angry, I want to shoot someone.
Oh my God, man. I think it's
Not
a lot
because
of
I remember like because
uh-huh.
to us it was like, yo, it was never like I want to shoot or kill somebody. It was always like I'm gonna roast the fuck out of this person. Excuse me, I'm gonna
We
find
gonna
out
fight.
something about him. Yeah, bro. Like
Yeah.
we gonna either have to shoot the five, bro, or we gonna have to like start joning each other, man. Like on the bus, in the back of the bus, where everybody was chilling and hanging out just to make fun of you and shit. Like that's what it was. So how did it get to us like want to shoot and kill? Now I want to say us, not us, but this
You know,
generation here.
people, yeah,
How did
people.
they get so buck? How did they get like so buck and be like, yo, I'm gonna kill everybody? Like where the fuck did that come from?
I honestly like, even though we talk about Columbine, that was like really a singular event. But also at that
Yes,
time,
yeah,
if you think about Columbine, right? We had the remember the Oklahoma City bombing, all of
yeah,
that
yeah, of
stuff
course.
happened. What was happening around that time that is similar to our time? What was that? Because if you look at the 80s up until now, it's very similar. Coming out of recession, we don't truly have a real war for people to have more American pride. You
Hmm.
have the increase of actual anti-government movements. That's why you know what I mean. Then you have Waco. Waco was the singular event in the 90s that caused for the Oklahoma City bombing to happen because they were an anti-government group. Even though that dude was bugging, he was
Yep.
seen as an anti-government, and people that were a part of the anti-government movement, neo-Nazis, blah, 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 all was like, yo, that's terrible that the government came in and destroyed Waco and killed all those people. That's the way that they framed it in their mind. Isn't that real similar about what's happening right now? Came out of recession in the 2000s, right? Boom.
Hmm.
Our singular event could have been one or two things. Either it could have been having the first black president or it could have been Donald Trump. And then you have multiple small events of murder happening with killings of people. Then you had George Floyd. So when you have all of these major international events that get all this news coverage, it
Yeah.
emboldens people to commit more atrocities. So me personally, I feel like that's the reason why you will see these school shootings continue to increase because people are getting radicalized. And I'm just looking at it from a historical perspective, bro. Like in the
Right.
80s to
Right.
the 90s, boom. Then
And
you hit now to now.
I don't think is I I don't know how to say it. I don't think it's that deep. I don't think people are that intelligent. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I'm not saying that shooting up something or school or anything like that is intelligent in any kind of way. I didn't mean it like that.
I know what you.
I
Yeah,
mean
I
it,
know what you mean. Yeah,
but I
people
mean
ain't
like
that
I don't think
complex.
people.
That's what you're
Yeah,
saying.
they're not. They don't connect it that way. I
But
think
I
it's
don't
just
think
it's.
they have to be that smart. I think it's just the unit, like how it goes in like the energy of the world
I
and
feel
how
you.
the
I feel
world
you.
is framing everything and how it
Hmm.
just lays out those pieces. And then you get somebody come up to you like with this pamphlet talking about how Jews are taking over the world and how
Yeah.
niggers are the main reason why we are being oppressed as white folk,
Yeah.
like replacement theory. And then Spics are also replacing us and they're trying to destroy the white people. So I think that's like all of that, like information getting thrown at you, and you already hate your parents, you hate your life, you got eighth place, and they give you an award, you hate yourself, you have no self esteem, you ain't getting no girls, you're an incel, and then you got guns. And it's just to me that seems like it's a great recipe to go ahead and just become a mass shooter.
Hmm.
Personal opinion. You want to go ahead and go to K, man?
Yeah. Yeah. We got a message here from Kara Sewell, man. Kara Saul. If I'm saying your name incorrectly, I apologize. But here you go, man.
Be like, yo, what's up with y'all, man? What's up, big
Gucci.
homie Wayne, YFM Jimmy? Yeah, man, we gotta uplift the righteous people. You know what I'm saying? This is a good discussion.
Thank you, K. We
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank
it,
you. Will.
man.
Yeah. No
Thank you
doubt,
so
man.
much.
Hmm.
Yeah, for real, man. We totally agree, man. Like unity and uplifting is going to help with this problem. But I say it again, and I continue to say it. Right now, I'm not going to go and have any solutions because I tried that in the beginning and that shit ain't go off well. So what I am going to say, you know, we need to come through with a collective plan of how we're going to respond in kind.
Yeah, we definitely do. And I don't know
You
if this
know,
is necessarily a
no,
positive
this ain't the time.
conversation,
Right, right.
but this is something that needs to be said, and we need to, if not teach each other what to do to help us out, then to talk to each other to help us off the ledge. You know what I mean? Because nobody else is doing that for us.
And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody in terms of like political, right? Because I don't know where everybody is. I'm guessing everybody on here is either independent or, you know, Democratic leaning. But I will say that, you know, I don't want to hear no more speeches about arguments between Republicans and Democrats cussing each other out. I don't want to see no more of that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I want to see some action. But that's just my personal opinion. But let's go ahead to the next message, man.
Word, man. And this was one from Son. We
Son.
got you again, bro.
Non-violentism is oppressive, man. I know you probably never heard that before, but non-violentism is oppression or oppressive. It's very oppressive because it's telling you to go against, you know, what your instinct is. Your instinct is thinking protection, and your protection is declared violence by those who come wielding violence and death. So the whole thing of the non-violence thing is non-violence is scary as fuck us because it don't stop the motherfuckers from eating on you, but it's still used as if it's something effective. So it's very oppressive to one's, you know what I'm saying, natural instincts, non-violence.
Yeah, I definitely can understand where that's coming from on that. That's a good point, man. Just from the animalistic side, right? That's the main thing that you want to do is survive. And I think that's probably why I carry weapons. But I think it's a difference from being wanting to survive in the wild and being a hunter.
Yeah. And that's
So
not
once you
even
start,
wanting to survive in the wild. You have to survive in the wild because
oh,
it's
of
gonna be
course, you
wild
got to.
regardless.
It's
Yeah.
not a want, right? Of course. So that's my me misspeaking. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Surviving in the wild compared to being a hunter. And that's why I say defense.
Yeah.
Because I just don't want us to be killing, you know, and trying to fight and find neo Nazis and smoke them. But if that's what people want to do, like I said, it's that type of thing where that's going to have to be a conversation that's had.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad that we even have to do that. But hey, guess what? Y'all remember after World War II was over, a whole bunch of Nazis, for some crazy reason, came to America and came to Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And we had actual operation called Operation Paperclip. Operation Paperclip took a lot of the scientific, like the science Nazis and things of that nature, people that were building like shit, and we gave them pardons from their war crimes and came to America to actually help them build rockets and different scientific advancements here in America.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of those people actually, believe it or not, were in Houston, Texas area, because that's where we had a lot of like NASA and shit like that. So they were, you know, building rockets and building all types of stuff, right? But then there was also another operation within the government where we actually went out and killed neo Nazis that, or Nazis in general, that had hid from the war crimes, right? And had relocated here to America. And we ain't detained those motherfuckers. They smoked them. They killed them. So it's crazy, man. History and how everything is framed. What's allowed to be done in the sake of freedom and what's not allowed to be done. So I'm a giant history buff. So to me, I always go back to it because I feel like it always repeats itself. And it's quick too. 30, 20 years, it's coming back.
Right.
But
Right.
let's go to the next message, man. Thank you, son, for commenting. We appreciate you. Of course,
And
man.
bro, when you think about it, if we go back to what Son was saying about the
Hmm.
nonviolence,
Yeah.
you know, you gotta practice to be nonviolent.
Yeah,
It's
it's so
instinctual.
hard. It's not
Yeah.
it's like he said, just like he said, he is very right. And I love the way he said that, and I'm gonna steal that from him. So sorry, son, if you see me say it before. He is right, man. He is not wrong. Nonviolence is oppression because it's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
Like for real, I don't know how those people that got the sit-ins, I don't know how they got their ass whipped and just took
I
it,
just
bro.
took it. Yeah, right.
Like maybe if we was in their time, that's what we would have did too. I don't know, bro. But I'm feeling like I wouldn't did that. But I'm also
Yeah.
sitting here preaching like we should have a different type of response. So maybe I would have been in there just getting beat up, getting called every name in the book. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely the craziest and the hardest option. So let's go ahead, man, and go to the other message,
Got you.
Wayne, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Mentioned like I'm answering your question on where like how to stop it and where it came from. When I mentioned like sports started with the eighth place trophy, like that's what I meant when I say it started with turning it soft. Because after that, like America's been, it's so weird. We done got away with McDonald lawsuits for getting fat,
Yep. Yep.
lawsuits for defeminizing someone,
They lost that
what
lawsuit.
child support system. What a joke the way they fucking run that shit.
That's
Court
true.
litigations. You know what I'm saying? So when you're giving out eighth place trophies during that time, everything else is transpiring. So you've already birthed new generations that's understanding this. Now we're past eighth place trophies where we're probably getting 10th place, right? So now the music is affected. Whatever emotional kids is being birthed, whatever they're going to listen to, they're going to adapt quick and try to blend in, is what I see. A bunch of wannabe.
Let me
Let's
play
go
this
to
next
it.
one. Hold on. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly,
Yep,
bro.
yep.
And it's only going to get more radical because I don't know if it's going to stop. It's like when you plant a bug, bro, it's like DNA at this point, bro. Like if it was
Mm.
born with a deficiency, we've been birthing the new generations for centuries. So when you're birthed with a deficiency, it's not like you can take the molecules apart and fix this human body. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You got to really ride the wave. See, I'm more concerned that these distractions that they blowing the fuck up, what the hell is really happening? Because what nobody's talking about is this World War III that nobody thinks it was going to happen, whether it was going to be Russia and us or China and us. Bro, we went from Russia's beef to like China taking this orb in Taiwan because that orb, oh, that's a whole nother.
Yeah, he ain't lying. That's a whole nother thing. And I'm gonna touch on that real quick because you know I
All
love
right.
that type of shit. He is not lying. If you remember, like Sunday or like Monday, Biden said, this is overseas, by the way, Wayne. So that's not
Hmm.
like it's over here. He's over there talking gangster gully. He was like, yo, if China attacks Taiwan, we're going to respond with a military response. That's word. That's what he said. And the cabinet, like, you know, his people, the media people was like, we'll still, you know, talk about what we're going to do. But that's what he said. That's World War III type stuff. You know, because China, you can't do that. You can't. That's real like war type stuff. So yeah,
Hmm.
that will be another podcast because we actually had a whole live stream on YouTube on our YFM channel. We talked about how this war um, with Ukraine and Russia, how it will affect America. And we've seen inflation continue, gas prices continue, all of that stuff. This can definitely be a distraction, but I feel like it's all the same type of problems. We got problems with like our money. Now we got problems with neo Nazis and people shooting up everything. It's all like crumbling down in terms of the foundation of America, you know? So yeah, I just want to go ahead and mention that, man. So Wayne, you want to go ahead and respond or play his next message?
Now let's go play the next one.
Okay.
Finish off my last comment, what I was trying to, because I'm taking too much of the minutes. I'm going to just try to wrap it up quick. You know, we're getting ready to witness what communication and debates will be involving global domination. You know what I mean? So, and this whole orb shit with Taiwan is just one of the issues that's the biggest issues right now because that orb is powerful. Something to do with, listen, the reason why your PlayStation 5 is out of stock or the cable boxes is out of stock or all these new phones and shit coming out, They need that chip. That chip is in Taiwan. China used to get it for the Lolo, but I don't know what the fuck happened for China to go, you know what? We should just probably just rob Taiwan real quick. Like, let's
Yeah,
just take this shit. That's why President Biden signed that fucking contract or whatever to protect Taiwan, ready to go war.
he ain't lying, man. Like that is a whole different issue, but like not it's not a different issue. But what he's saying is like, what are they distracting us from? And this is
Hmm.
some shit like that we could talk to like Kyle about, from the Big Dumb podcast.
Right.
Kyle is
Yeah.
a conspiracy theorist. He has a conspiracy theorist podcast. He will go right there with you, man, because he believes that they always do media distractions. But when I feel like I hope and pray that our nation is not that sick to kill just innocent kids and people just to go ahead and have some bullshit ass war that might happen with Taiwan to cover it up. But they've done worse. They've done worse, right? Shit, they brought us here, so they've done worse. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, Wayne, I'm thinking about we're going ahead wrapping it up, man. What you think, bro? We've been talking about this for 2 hours. It's a great discussion. I really love it and all the messages and everything. Um, did you want to talk about something else, Wayne?
No, man. I think I got everything out. I think I got a lot of my frustrations out, and I just really wanted to hear from everyone about how they felt about everything and how they feel going forward, and how to if you feel positive going forward, or how do we get to feel positive going forward? How do we get to feel safe? How I guess just really how do we continue on with life knowing that if they're
Responsibility.
not
Yeah.
beat yeah, if they're not beating us in the pockets, then they beating us in life. And I just don't know how to go forward sometimes, and it's just so tough. It's just real tough, man. And everybody has their opinion, and I feel like nobody is right and nobody is wrong. Not everybody can be right. You know what I mean? I just
Right.
you just got to do for yourself and do the best that you can. But like me, I'm that kind of person where I can feel my people's pain, and I'm here for it, for everybody. I'm here for my people, regardless if you're higher up or lower than me or whatever the case is. And everybody has an opinion, and everybody's opinion matters. It just really sucks. And I want to feed off of other people. I want to hear other people, like how they're living, excuse me, how they're going throughout their regular day to day. Like, are they doing it normally and it's just like dirt off your shoulder? Or are you feeling the pain and you want to ride, like you want to go out there and get at these people too? That's how I kind of feel. And so I just want to, yeah, man, I just don't know. I just don't know, man.
I know, and you don't ever want to, as a person, us being logical people, us being spiritual people, right? Us being energy people, you don't
Mhm.
ever want to feel doubt, even though life is doubt. You don't want that doubt. You want certainty.
Yeah,
You want to feel safe. You want to know when
yeah,
you take your child to school that they're gonna be fucking all right, unless they, get
right.
to a fight or cussing out the teacher. You don't want to get that call where you have to wait 9 hours to find out that your kid is dead. That you don't even want that to be on your mind. You know what I mean? You don't want to go to the. That's the thing that hurt me. You go to the store to go get something. I work at a grocery store, y'all. I'm looking at the exit every day now when I'm up in
Yeah,
there. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, man.
I'm looking at the exit every day. I know all my exit points. I don't want to be thinking like that, man. I'm thinking on some old So I just want to let everybody know, everyone that came on this chat today to talk to us about this. Not only do I appreciate y'all, but I love y'all. And even if we agree to disagree or whatever, you know what I mean? I appreciate y'all as black people even taking the time out to even share your opinion, man, and to have this conversation. But me and Wayne ain't gonna stop it here. We're not gonna stop it just because we might not have another event this whole summer. You feel me?
Right,
Because I feel
right.
like the main problem in this whole situation is being desensitized to this. We cannot let this shit. We cannot be desensitized to any more violence.
Yeah,
We just cannot. We cannot. We have to remember this. We have to take it with us. We have to be diligent, diligent, diligent. So, Wayne, man, you want to go ahead and end it there, broski?
we do. We got Diamante. He got one more message, man. Let's listen to that real quick, bro.
Okay.
Say, don't worry, it's in American blood. It's in your blood, sir. Whether you're black or white, it's in your blood. It's what we know. It's our family history. Of course, it's gonna get worse, bro. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's really important for like people in America to start realizing, let's make love a race. Do you have love as a race? Let's be allies. You know, I always predict this shit. If I could make a wish, make a fucking vortex around the fucking country that zap your soul if you have no love in your heart. You just need pure
Right.
love in your heart. Because I can't tell who's fucking fake and real nowadays, bro. This shit is fucked
Right.
up.
Yeah,
So
you can't.
I
Yeah,
just
you
Right.
think
really
it's all
can't.
about love. Soon we're going to get back to the kings and peasants. It was never race. It was never race. It was kings and peasants. And it's still kings and peasants, but they got us distracted with this whole race war. Oh my God, it's right in our faces, and we do the dumb shit still.
I think he left another one too.
I want to see that call, but you know, YFM, big homie Wayne, you gotta understand. Like I said, when I say we're in the weirdest times, we're experimenting new laws. Shout outs to the weed law, probably the only thing I care about this damn generation. Anyway, you know, at the end of the day, we we're transitioning into a new world faster than ever.
Yeah.
Usually the
Wait,
80s and
just quick.
90s, 70s, it took 10 years for it to transition over to from like, for example, cassette tapes to disc, CDs, MP3, blah blah blah, right? Well, guys, it's still happening. It's just happening at a faster rate. And what's gonna happen is that COVID-19, let me tell you something. The hidden agenda was exposed during pandemic. Okay? Because this whole work from home, schools from home, everything is from home. Oh, we're gonna get to that. Oh, they were experimenting. Experiments are coming out quite lovely right now.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about. He's talking more about. There's a show, real quick, real fast. I mean, super fast. There's a show that's called The Strain. It was on FX. It was about vampires and shit from a book.
Yeah.
And basically, the end of this, like the last season, that's basically what everybody was doing. You had an assigned job, then you went home. But the whole thing was to keep people in place so they can actually move them to like these death camps so they can drain them of their blood, like the Nazis did. Because the main vampire, that's how he, you know, got his teachings of how to take over the world. So that's what he's talking about. That's like old, old world like knowledge about like how to like control people and control people's mind states. But look, man, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thank all of y'all again for the messages. We'll be live streaming on Saturday, this Saturday at
Yes.
1
On
p.m.
YouTube. Right.
on YouTube, live streaming on YouTube, and we'll be on stereo again. Of course, we're gonna play your messages on YouTube and on stereo.
Hmm.
But we live stream every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central, and 10 a.m. LA time. Also, we drop podcast episodes every Friday on the You Feel Me podcast, or excuse me, YFM podcast. So we
Hmm.
drop every Friday. You can check us out on YouTube, also on Instagram. We got it both linked to our bio, so you can go ahead over there. And as we did before last week, everyone that was on this call, we're gonna go ahead and follow y'all so we can continue the conversation. But look, brothers, sisters, stay safe, be careful, and be diligent. Move in love, man. And that's all I got to say. Wayne, you got anything else to say, broski?
Nothing, just like just my people that's on the call, and whoever listen to this, man, that's like, I love y'all, and I just wish y'all luck, and just do what you feel you need to do in order to be able to walk these streets safely as a black woman or a black man or whatever the case is, man, because it just gets tougher every single day, and I just feel like there's not a right or wrong way about this. So do what you feel is best for you to do, and always, always, please, always, man, uplift your other people, uplift us.
All right. Love y'all, man. Peace. YFM.
Peace, love.